Hello everyone. So recently Jones Road has come out with a number of new makeup and skincare products, and I have been trying those out on my own mature and sensitive skin. So for this video I thought that what I would do is to focus mostly on the new lip pencils from Jones Road, and I have three shades of these. I have the Mauve one, the Nude Rose, and the Cognac, and so I will be showing you each of these shades and then comparing the formula, I think, to the 20 other different lip pencils that I have in my collection. So hopefully you can get a sense of how these are different than the others and whether or not the Jones Road pencil would be the right one for you. And then I also will be discussing the new eyebrow gel from Jones Road. So I've been trying this out on my very difficult eyebrows, so I will let you know what I think of that. And then I also have been trying out the new Jones Road Moisturizer and a few other products that they have recently released. So first, a little bit of information about me. I'm 59 years old and I have dry and sensitive skin. Over the past 2 years, I've tried out more than 1,000 makeup and skincare products, and I have found that there are certain ingredients that always irritate my skin, and so I do my best to avoid any products that have any of those ingredients in them. In addition, I prefer to spend only 5 or 10 minutes a day on my makeup, so I'm looking for products that really perform reliably well for me and that don't cause any irritation at all. So let's talk briefly about the other new Jones Road products before moving on to the lip pencils. And I have timestamps in the description box, so if you want to skip ahead to looking at information on certain products, then you should be able to do that pretty easily. So the first product that I'm going to talk about is the new eyebrow gel from Jones Road, and I did shoot some footage of me putting on this eyebrow gel earlier today, so you can see what that looks like, and then I also threw on a few other Jones Road products to create a finished look. So what I should mention first is that I have especially difficult eyebrows, and that even though I have never plucked them at all, they really are almost non-existent in terms of what they look like if I don't actually put some work into them. So usually what I do is to use two different products. First I use an eyebrow pencil, and then over the top of that I use a tinted brow gel, which will darken up the hairs that I do have and make the whole look a little bit more natural. So the one exception to this is with the Jones Road eyebrow pencil, and what I have found with this particular pencil is that I really don't need to use a brow gel in addition to it because it has these little fibers in it. And so when I use this pencil by itself, it gives me a passable look that seems like I actually have something other than just a little bit of pencil drawn onto my skin, and that looks like there's actually some brows there. So if I am in a hurry, especially, I will almost always use this product. But if I have a little bit more time, then using a regular brow pencil as well as a brow gel, I think gives me a somewhat more natural look. So that's what I did today. So over the past couple years, I have tried many different brow gels, and I have had really big problems with almost all of them. So in a lot of cases, the brow gels have arrived at my home all dried up, or dried up to the point that they really don't perform very well for me. In addition, I found that many of the eyebrow gels that I have used have irritated my skin and actually caused sort of an aching feeling behind my brows. So I originally thought that, well, it's just going on my hair, so it doesn't matter that much. But I think the pores in my eyebrow area are so large that any kind of material that I put on there has the potential of getting inside of my skin. In addition, some of the brow gels that I have used have been really on the messy side, and because I don't have that many hairs in that area, if the products are too thin or too goopy, then they tend to get on the skin rather than just on the eyebrows, and then that can look really artificial also. And in some cases also, the brow gels tend to flake off or just not to work very well in terms of creating a natural look. So all in all, the percentage of the brow gels that I have tried out that have worked well for me has really been quite low. So the products that I do like, I really like the Jane Iredale one, and I like the Kosas one. Most people do like that one. And the Beauty Counter one has been okay, although I like to see a few more shades in that one. And I have also liked the Merit one pretty much. A few more that I have tried that have also been okay. The Persona Brow Gel has been all right. And Tarte makes a product called Busy Gal Brows that I was a little bit suspicious of when I looked at the ingredient list, but that seems to have been okay for me as well. Now, one more thing that I have observed is that Even though I always put the brow gel on over another pencil, this does not seem to have worked at all for me with the Jones Road pencil. I feel like the Jones Road pencil already has a lot of fibers in it, and so putting brow gel over that is not necessarily the best thing for creating a natural look. And I have not really seen anything from Jones Road, either on their website or in other information that they've released on their brow gels, that suggests that they're thinking that you should be using these two products together. So for the demonstration, I'm going to be using the new Kosas Nano Pencil. So this is an eyebrow pencil with a very, very small tip. And I have found this to work pretty well for me. I have always really liked the Kosas Brow Pencil, but this one seems to be working fine too. So I'm trying it out a little bit more. So I purchased the new Jones Road Brow Gel in the shade Ash, and this is the same shade that I use with the brow pencil. Now with the brow pencil, I have also tried the shades Brown and the shades Blonde, and my feeling with this Ash shade is that it's specifically designed to be working with gray hair, whereas the other ones look a little bit more on the reddish side, and I found that this one has worked really well for me. So in general, I've been really happy with how the Jones Road product has performed for me. It does seem to have plenty of product in the container, and it seems to be not dried up, or at least not yet. Now this is certainly a new product, and so there's potential if it sits in the warehouse for a long period of time that conceivably it could get dried up like the other products that I used. But my hope is that since Jones Road is managing all of their own inventory and not going through third-party retailers, that they will keep an eye on this and make sure that it doesn't get dried up. I also think it goes on my brows pretty easily without being too messy, and it coats all of the brow hairs fairly nicely, so I think it looks like I have a fairly nice full brow when I use it, and so I think it's just about as good as some of the other products that I have really liked. Now the product does have one ingredient in it that concerns me a little bit, that is called glycerol rosinate, and EWG says that that can be irritating. It also has some phenoxyethanol in it, and some people may have a problem with that. But personally, I have not found that this has caused me any irritation or any of the aching type of feelings, and I've used it quite a bit so far. So I think it certainly could be something to be concerned about, but I also think that Jones Road seems to be pretty good at taking back products. So if you have an issue, then I would not hesitate to get in touch with them and to let them know about that. And so now let's talk about the new skincare product from Jones Road. This is called the Jones Road Oil-Free Moisturizer, and it comes in this pump bottle, and this is a glass bottle, which I think is very nice. And it does not have any fragrance ingredients in it at all. So I'm very happy about that, because in the past, most of Jones Road's skincare products have had botanical fragrances in them, and a lot of them have irritated my skin. But this one has been terrific as far as that goes. It doesn't have any scent in it that I can really detect at all, and I think it feels really good on my skin, and I haven't experienced any irritation. And the description of this product reads, this oil-free moisturizer is a fragrance-free, water-based moisturizer that provides instant hydration to the skin. In hot and humid climates, this lightweight product won't make your skin feel heavy, sticky, or too dewy. This clean formula contains niacinamide and is great for nourishing all skin types. So even though it doesn't actually have any oil in it, it does have some other ingredients in it that are moisturizing, and especially the third ingredient is squalane, which is a hydrator and a moisturizer. And there's also some moisturizing ingredients that are caprolate, which is probably derived from coconut, but it's a purified form of coconut that tends not to be irritating for most people, even if they don't do well with coconut oil. And then there's some niacinamide in this. And so niacinamide is a product that tends to be particularly helpful for skin texture issues. So for me, I felt like this product seemed to remind me a good bit of one of my favorite day creams, which is the Honest Hydrogel Cream. Now that one does have some sodium hyaluronate in it, and this one instead has some niacinamide. But other than that, I think that the ingredients are very similar. So this is a product that I think works particularly well for me right under my makeup, so I can put it on my skin and then put my makeup on almost immediately after that. So in the past, for that function, I had been using both that Honest product, and I've been using sometimes the Merit Great Skin liquid type of skincare product, and I think both of those have worked pretty well, and I think that this one is very similar. I do like this one because it's a cream and because it's in a pump bottle, so that streamlines my morning routine a little bit compared to having to open a jar and then worrying about not contaminating the jar with my fingers. But in general, I think that this is a particularly good product for me to use as a day moisturizer. Now, there are some times that I will wake up in the morning and I will put on a little bit of oily moisturizer or just skin oil and then wait a little bit and then put on a moisturizer like this before putting on makeup. But in general, they seem to be suggesting, oh, this is just a good moisturizer for the summer. And I think it is true that particularly for the summer months, or if you have oily skin, this one could be particularly good. But I think that I'm going to be using this all year round, and that it will really serve a function in terms of being a good primer for me. And overall, I think that since I've been using this product on a daily basis, my skin has been in good shape, and so I'm really happy about that. And I think this is the best skincare product that I have used from Jones Road so far in terms of not irritating my skin. I still do like their night cream for the evening use during the winter months, and so I will continue to use that one, and I really do like this one also. I think this is a good breakthrough for them in terms of not having any fragrances and being really good for my skin. And then Jones Road has two other brand new products that I thought I would briefly mention. The first one is a new shade of Miracle Balm, and this is called Happy Hour and is described on the website as a cool sheer pink with a silver shimmer for light to medium tan skin tones. So in looking at the pictures on the website, I feel like this could be a really pretty Christmas shade. It has a little bit of silveriness to it, and I think it has a bit of a wintry type of a look to it. So I think that this could be very nice for people that enjoy Miracle Balm. My issue with Miracle Balm for myself is that it includes rose geranium oil and some other essential oils in it, and that it does have quite an irritating effect on my skin. So I've pretty much given up on using it myself, and I have been working recently on finding some substitutes for it that do kind of the same thing for my skin. So hopefully I can do a video on those substitutes pretty soon. But in any case, I do think it serves a function in terms of, especially for older women, in terms of blurring the skin and also providing some pretty but light color that looks very natural and youthful. So for people that don't react to Miracle Balm, I think that this new shade looks very pretty. The other product that is new from Jones Road is a fragrance that is called Shower, and it has both synthetic fragrance in it as well as a bunch of different processed natural fragrances. And I managed to get a small container of this as a free gift with purchase, and so I gave it a try. The problem for me is that I really don't do well with synthetic fragrance at all. I don't find it to be appealing in terms of how it smells, and in this case it also made me sneeze a lot, and when I put synthetic fragrance on my skin, it pretty much always just it makes me itch. So in this case, it's not supposed to be a skincare product, but still my body does not like it at all. So as the name would suggest, this does have a light and clean scent that if people don't mind synthetic fragrances, a lot of people do seem to like this product. And so now let's talk about these new lip pencils. So there are 8 shades of these lip pencils, and they are for sale for $22. And yesterday I filmed some footage of me putting on the lip pencils as was recommended by Bobbi Brown. So I will show you that footage while I talk about them. What I did was to just put on a little bit of lip balm. In this case, I used the RMS lip balm in the clear shade, and then I put the lip pencils lining my lips, and then I also filled in my bottom lip and then put them together like this so that I would get a small amount of the product on both my top and my bottom lip. And then I put a little bit of a clear lip balm with a little bit of a shine to it over the top of it. And for that I used this pharmacy product, which is called Lip Smoothie Apple. So for these lip pencils, the Jones Road website uses the slogan of "Your lips but better," and then in the description it says that it's a richly pigmented pencil that defines and fills your lips for a refined modern look. The creamy formula is derived from the perfect blend of waxes and oils, giving you a lightweight, breathable, and barely there finish. The 8 nude shades match the color of natural lips, providing you with multiple options to add subtle enhancement or to play up a bolder look. So these are all really natural looking lip shades. So now let's talk a little bit about the purpose of lip liner and how well the Jones Road pencils would serve each of these different purposes. So the first one is that, especially as women get older, I think that the border between their lips and the skin around their mouth kind of breaks down a little bit, and it is harder to keep your lipstick on just your lips without having it smear around a little bit. And in addition, some lipsticks are just smeary, so regardless of what your lips are like, some more creamy lipsticks in particular tend to get smeared around. So if these are issues that you may be experiencing, then using a lip liner over your entire lips may provide a good base, and then your lipsticks may go on a little bit smoother and also to stay in place a little bit better. Now, a second reason that you may want to wear a lip liner is because it can provide a good base color, so that if your lipstick wears off as the day or an evening goes on, that you may still have some color left on your lips rather than kind of an empty spot. So I think that in a lot of cases, especially if you're wearing a brighter color lipstick, like a red lipstick or a darker lipstick, that can be really useful. And I often do wear that if I'm going to be wearing a red lipstick. And I have a few red lip pencils that I may use. Now in this case, these are all neutral pencils. So if you're going to be wearing a darker or a brighter shade of lipstick, then it's really not going to be providing you with that kind of insurance with regard to your lipstick wearing off. Now, a third reason that you may want to use a lip pencil or a lip liner is to make your lips look bigger. And I think that a lot of people are interested in doing that these days rather than getting lip filler. So the idea with this is that if you have a lip pencil, then you can draw just outside of your natural lip line and then fill the whole thing in with lipstick, and then you may be able to make it look like your lips are larger than they actually are. Now, this is something that I have not seen Bobbi Brown or Jones Road talk about at all. In general, Bobbi Brown tends to really not be a big fan of people using makeup to look different than they actually are. And so she's not a big fan of contouring, and I don't get the feeling that she's a big fan of using lipstick to make your lips look bigger either. I think she's more interested in giving people tools to just make the most of their own actual features. And I think that you could use this pencil to overline your lips a little bit, but I don't think it's really intended to do that as much as some of the other pencils on the market that I'll be talking about. And then some lip pencils are more like lip crayons, where they are allowing you to create a defined lip, but that is bright and not really meant to be used in conjunction with lipsticks, and instead it's meant to be using on their own. So for instance, the Nars Powermatte Lip Pencils, those are actually more like lip crayons, where they're designed to just be used instead of a lipstick, but for a more precise look. And obviously this is not that kind of a lip pencil. But one thing that Bobbi Brown and the Jones Road people have talked a lot about is using a lip pencil to put a light wash of color on your lips. So that's what I have been doing in these video footage, is first of all to put just a light layer of lip pencil on both my top and my bottom lips, and then putting just a little bit of gloss over the top of this. So you're getting a look that is similar to what you would get with a light lipstick, but that might stay in place for a little bit longer and that is quite light. For instance, in the recent Tim Burton TV series called Wednesday, which is about the Addams family, they wanted the teenage girl to have a little bit of a goth look, but not to have it be too much. So they decided that they would use a lip pencil from MAC, which is called Night Moth, and then they would put on a little bit of gloss over the top of it. So I have that product actually, and so I will be showing that to you. And I think it is a very pretty look for that, and I think that what I've been able to get with the Jones Road pencils has also been very attractive in terms of being pretty, but muted type of a look that seems very natural. Now, in terms of these lip pencils from Jones Road, oftentimes when Jones Road releases a product, it's something that's really groundbreaking in terms of being a lot different than any other product on the marketplace. And there are quite a few products from them that are either really, really different than anything I've used before, or that are really the best in category that I have tried. In this case, I was kind of hoping that that might be the case as well. As it turns out, these are really just kind of ordinary lip pencils. Now, they are in 8 different neutral shades, and you may find to be the case that one of these shades is one that you particularly like, but I have not really found these to be substantially different than any of the other pencils in my collection, and they are priced at about the same price as well. So in terms of the performance, I think that they look nice on my lips. I think that they go on smoothly. So I don't have any criticisms about them in terms of that, but I also don't feel like there's anything that's really special about them. Now, unfortunately, the issue that I have had with these lip pencils, and I do have 3 of them, is that they have irritated my lips, and I think substantially more than most of the other lip pencils that I have. And in looking at the ingredient list, my suspicion here is that they include a preservative that's called benzyl alcohol. So benzyl alcohol is a fragrance type of ingredient that works as a preservative, and it's often present naturally in essential oils, but it also can be separated and used as a standalone ingredient in products. And I think that the reason that it's being used here is probably because it's working as a preservative. Because I do feel like Bobbi Brown is really interested in having the products all last for a long time. Many of her products do have a lot of preservatives in them, and these pencils have a usage life of 36 months, which is a really, really long life compared to every other lip pencil that I have. The only other pencil that I have that is supposed to last that long is the NYX one, and that one has a paraben in it, and that is such a strong preservative that I've actually been afraid to even try that product. So whether or not you think it's good that a product has a usage life that is this long, it really depends on what your goals are. So I think with a lot of cleaner beauty companies that they are taking the approach that they're trying to keep the products from irritating people's skin, and so therefore they're really hesitant to put in any kind of ingredients that might be irritating. In the case of Jones Road, I don't really feel like their focus has been on creating products that have not been irritating, and instead they don't want to put a lot of product ingredients in them that are really controversial. I feel like they are committed to that, but I do feel like there's been kind of a split, and some of the products have worked really, really well for me, but there's been quite a few of them that have been irritating because of the preservative ingredients in them, including the essential oils, and I think that this is certainly one of those. I mean, I also think it's the case that Bobbi Brown is funding this company herself. It's, she's putting all of her husband's and her money into the company. And so I think that they have a real hesitancy to buy products and then not have them sell as fast and then have to throw them out because they go bad. I don't think that they like that at all. So I think that that's part of the reason that they've been so preservative focused in terms of their line. And I think it's also the case that she's from a conventional beauty company, and so she believes that products need to have a lot of preservatives in them. Now, as far as I'm concerned, I really haven't found any lip pencils to go bad on me, especially the ones that you're sharpening. So I kind of feel like that for me, this is really overkill, and that most of the lip pencils that are on the market, they either don't have any chemical preservatives in them at all, or they just have a small amount. So I'm not really that concerned about it with this kind of product. I can kind of see more why with certain kinds of products like foundations, you might be more concerned because those are more likely to go moldy. But in this case, I think that probably the worst thing that can happen is that the product's going to go rancid, which is a little bit different. In this case, they are using castor seed oil. And in the past, I thought, oh, castor seed oil is a pretty normal ingredient. But recently, I heard that Mauve Beauty, which is run by the founding chemist of MAC, so he's very aware of what's going on. They don't use castor oil in their products at all, and the reason for that is because they feel that castor seed oil has the potential to go rancid, and so then they would have to put more chemical preservatives in it, and they don't want to do that, and so they just leave the castor seed oil out entirely, although they do use some derivatives of castor oil apparently. And I think that that's smart, because I have not yet had any products from Mauve Beauty seem to go bad on me, and I have not had any of them at all cause me any irritation at all. Whereas in this case, I think that they're using castor oil and then they're putting these ingredients in it to keep the castor oil fresh, and as a result, I really can't use this product at all. But for people that are not as sensitive as I am and that don't have issues with certain kinds of fragrance type ingredients, then this product might be perfectly fine for them. I have no doubt that it is. So the one good thing for me in buying these new pencils is that it has encouraged me to go back and try on all of the lip pencils that I already have in my collection. I've done that a couple of other times in the past, but it's been a while and there have been some new products that I have tried out. So therefore, yesterday I shot some footage of me putting on each of these pencils, so I will go ahead and insert that while I talk briefly about each of these 20 or so formulas. And I'm going to start with the most expensive products, and then I will work my way down to the least expensive products. So the first one that I have here is the Chanel Le Crayon Levres, and this is $35 and is available in 18 shades, and I have the shade Bois de Rose, and this was released about 3 years ago. So the first thing is that even though I have this particular shade, I really just chose it kind of at random based on the pictures, because they don't really have any descriptions at all in the Chanel website in terms of what their colors are like. So it's very difficult to shop, I have found, on the Chanel website, and I usually just make a guess when I buy something from them. The other thing about Chanel, of course, is that almost all of their products have either aluminum powder or fragrance in them, so it's very, very rare for me to be able to find a Chanel product that I have any hope of even being able to tolerate. So I was kind of happy to find this lip pencil a couple of months ago that did have ingredients in it that seemed like they would work for me. Now, one thing it does say in the description for the product is that it includes cottonseed derivatives. I don't really know what that is, because I looked really carefully at all of the ingredients in this pencil, and I don't see anything that looks like it's derived from cottonseed at all. So I'm not sure why they are saying that, but in any case, I'm always nervous about cottonseed oil because it can be contaminated with glyphosate and other agricultural chemicals, and my body doesn't do well with those at all. But in this case, I think that this has been a fine pencil. It's been really, really well performing in terms of going easily onto my lips. It tastes good to me. It has lasted well. I think that this color has been very, very pretty, and of all the products that I have used, I think that this one is very nice, and I think it has worked well both as a standalone lip color that goes on with just a little bit of enough pigment and softness that it feels good on my lips and looks good, but I think it also has enough sturdiness that it works well as a lip base for a lip stick. So $35 is a little bit more expensive than any of the other pencils that I have tried so far. But in the scheme of things, this is not a really expensive product compared to many of the other Chanel products that I might be interested in trying. And I think if it were just me, and if it wasn't that I was doing this channel, I would probably think of this as being one of my favorite pencils, and I might even buy more of them. And then the next one is the new Powermatte Lip Pencil, which is $30. And I actually just did a video on these pencils along with a new palette from Nars. And I really do like these pencils a lot, but they're more like lip crayons. So you're not going to want to be using this underneath another kind of lipstick. They really are just designed to put quite a bit of high pigment, fairly bright or dark color on your lips. And they do stay in place for quite a while. And I think that they perform really well. They've tasted good to me. They feel good to me. I think the ingredient list is okay. And so I'm a big enthusiast of these, but I really think that they're a substitute for a matte lipstick rather than thinking of them as a pencil. And they're really very similar to the Nars Powermatte lipsticks, but they have an 18-month usage life. So I think that that's a little bit better than the Powermatte lipstick life, which is 6 months. And then the next pencil that I have here is from Bobbi Brown, and this is $30, and it's available in a bunch of different shades. I have the shade Burnt Orange, which I actually really like, and which is no longer available from Bobbi Brown anymore. I really do like the color of this, but unfortunately this is another product that irritated my lips. What I see on the ingredient list here is that it has a hydrogenated cottonseed oil in it. And again, cottonseed oil tends to be highly contaminated with glyphosate, and certainly I don't do well with really any of the cottonseed oil products that I have used, and this one seems to be no exception. There's also a lot of synthetic colors in this, some of which I haven't seen too often in most other makeup products. So I did feel that the Bobbi Brown lip pencil did perform well for me, except for the irritation factor, but that makes it a no-go, at least in my case. And then the next pencil is from Victoria Beckham, and those are $28. And I have a couple of different shades in this because I really do like them quite a bit. I feel like in terms of the performance that these go on pretty similarly to the Jones Road pencils. I have not found these to irritate my lips at all. These come in a variety of neutral colors, but then there also is a bright red one. And I actually do really like that bright red one, and I have used it with a number of red lipsticks, and I feel like it's worked pretty well. And I have not found there to be any irritation. I don't see any ingredients in it that really concern me. So I'm a big fan of these, and they're a little bit expensive, but I wouldn't mind more of them. I really like it. And Chantecaille also makes a lip pencil that is $28. And although in this case it is more just like a regular old lip pencil, and it has irritated my lips a little bit. I'm not quite sure why that is. In general, I have not had all that much success with any of the Chantecaille products. I do really like one of their foundations that is made in Japan. And other than that, I really haven't had a lot of success with many of their products. I found a lot of their products to be irritating in one way or another, and some of them to have really problematic ingredients, and some of them to just perform not that well. And in this case, I feel like this is more like a $20 lip product. A lot of the products are just really, they jack up the price a lot for these products. So I am not a big fan of this pencil, or really most of their other stuff. And the next one is the Lisa Eldridge pencils, and I actually am a big fan of these pencils. These come in 23 shades, and they are designed to go with all of the colors of the Lisa Eldridge True Velvet Matte Lipsticks, which I also really like. So there's a really wide selection of colors, and I feel like Lisa Eldridge has a really unusually good eye for color, and that all of the colors that she has been offering have really had the potential of looking good on many different people, including me, even when they're colors that we really don't usually think that we can wear. And I think that's the case with these lipsticks as well. Now, these lip pencils are sort of like the Chanel pencils in that they're a little bit creamy. They conceivably could be used on their own without needing to use a lipstick with them, or sometimes she recommends also using them with her lip glosses, which I think is also very nice. I think that compared to pretty much all of the other regular lip pencils that I have used, these are a little bit more like a lip crayon. They're a little bit softer. Sometimes I felt like when I sharpened them that they didn't sharpen as easily as some of the other pencils, especially if the weather was warm. But in general, I feel really good about these in terms of how they look on my lips, in terms of how they feel on my lips. They haven't caused me any irritation at all. I did have some problems with irritation with the recent release of the Lisa Eldridge eye pencils, but these have been fine for me, and I am a big fan, and I wouldn't mind having a whole bunch more of these. I really like them. And the next one is the Coco Crayon from Perez. This is a brand from Australia, and it's a sharpenable pencil, but it's really more like a crayon. And I have found that particularly with this red shade that it tends to be a little bit on the messy side, so I would have thought that this would be less messy than using a red lipstick, but I actually feel like it's a little more messy. But I do think it's pretty. It feels perfectly fine to me in terms of tasting good, not causing any irritation. Overall, I've not had any problems with any of the Perez products that I've tried causing me any irritation. And I think that this is a product that I wouldn't mind trying in one of the shades that was not quite as bright. Maybe I would do better with that. And then the next one that I have is the Charlotte Tilbury Lip Cheat Pencil. So as you can tell from the name, I think that the main purpose of this pencil is so that you can overline your lips a little bit and make them look a little bit bigger. And it contains some silicones in it, which I think gives it a texture to it that's a little bit more raised. It's a little bit thicker, and it's not quite as flat as the other lip pencils that I have. The color that I have in this is the Pillow Talk shade, so it's a neutral shade that's pretty much the same color as my lips. So again, if the idea is to make your lips look bigger, then you may want to use this and then put a lipstick on over the top of it, conceivably. The problem for me has been that this has been a little bit irritating to my lips. It does have cottonseed oil in it, and so that's not really a surprise. There's also some phenoxyethanol in it that some people might not like. And I think that for what it is, it's a little bit expensive. That's always the case with Charlotte Tilbury products, and I think that's the case with this one as well. And then the next ones that I have is from MAC, and I actually have a couple of MAC lip pencils. And I actually really do like this a lot. So usually I think of MAC as kind of a medium tier brand compared to a lot of these other lip pencils. This one is a little bit expensive, but I also think it's a very good lip pencil. So it's a little bit more dry than some of these pencils, but I think that it provides a very, very good base for putting on lipstick, and that it comes in a whole bunch of different colors. So if your goal is to have a lip pencil that will last you all evening and that will provide some insurance against your lipstick coming off and having bare lips on part of your lips and lip color on the rest of your lips, these are very good for that. I do really like this Night Moth shade on me, and I think it's also cute on the TV show. And then I have another shade from them as well. And I think that as lip pencils go, particularly for the purpose of providing a base color down on your lips underneath lipstick, I think these are excellent. But they also do work well as a lip pencil to sheer out under a gloss. And I have not experienced any kind of irritation with these, and I think the ingredient list looks pretty good. So this is one of the better products from MAC, I think, as far as I'm concerned, and many other people do like this one as well. So the next one is the Clinique Lip Pencil, and these are twist-up products, which I actually somewhat prefer over the ones that you have to sharpen just for ease of use and streamlining my routine. These have some cyclic silicones in them, and I think that they provide a very natural look to my lips that is very nice and that goes on very easily. I have not had any problems at all with these irritating my lips, and apart from that cyclic silicone, I think that the ingredient lists are pretty good. So as Clinique products go, I think that this one is a pretty good one as well. And this does have 18 shades, so I would mostly think of this as being a more neutral shade, but I think that you might be able to find one to match your lipstick as well if that's what you're looking for. And then the next one is from a little independent clean beauty type of a company called Fitglow. And so far I've really liked the Fitglow skincare products that I have tried, and I think that this particular lip liner has worked well for me too. This is also the lip liner that my dog really liked, so he chewed this one up and ate quite a bit of the lip product out of it, and I think that that makes sense to me because it's actually very good ingredients. It tastes very good to me, and I think that considering how clean it is, it actually performs quite well. I wouldn't mind another one of these pencils. I think that compared to most of the pencils that I have, it's actually been very nice, and it's certainly not a bright color, at least not the one that I have in the shade Buff. But I do think that as a base for other kinds of lip products, I think it's worked really well for me. And then I have this pencil from Thrive, And I have this in the shade Khaki, which is a brown type of a shade. And this is a twist-up pencil, and I think that this has worked fine for me. I don't think it's been irritating at all, and a lot of people do like some of the Thrive products. I haven't tried that many of them so far, but I am kind of inclined to try a few more of them based on the performance of this particular product. Now, the next product that I have that I think has been highly overlooked in the marketplace are these Le Monster crayons from Haus Labs. And these are, really have heard almost no one talk about, but I think that these have been really terrific for me. So they come in a bunch of different colors, and the more recent ones that they've come out with have been more on the neutral side, and I think that there is potential for these to be used as a base for other kinds of lipsticks. But they also have quite a few bright colors that I think can be used to create a very pretty look on the lips that is much more precise than you would get with a lot of lipsticks, but that looks quite nice and is mostly matte, but just a little bit of moisturizing to it. So I always feel really good when I put these on. They're actually among my favorite lip products, and I wouldn't actually mind having more of them. And they're many different shades, and as a product that is this versatile and that performs as well and with a really clean ingredient list, I think that this is really one of the top products that Haus Labs offers, and so I hope more people give that a try. And so RMS used to have a line of a few lip pencils that I wasn't all that crazy about, but last year they ditched those and they brought out a whole new line of 7 different lip pencils that I think are a lot more creamy than the ones in the past, and that I do feel work well for me. I feel like these might be a little tiny bit irritating to my lips, so I haven't used them all that much. I'm not sure why that is, because I think the ingredient list looks pretty good, but in terms of the performance, I really like these, and they do come in a variety of different colors. And then the next product is the Lawless Forget the Filler Lip Liner, which is $21. And this is available in 11 shades. I just have one that's neutral. And again, the idea with this is like the Charlotte Tilbury one, that you're probably going to want to be using this to outline your lips a little bit beyond your natural lip line so that your lips look a little bit bigger. Lawless is a company that is a clean beauty company, and I've done fairly well with her products in terms of they're not irritating my skin, but that is also designed usually for a heavier type of a makeup look. But I think this pencil has been fine. Some of the colors are more bright. I think this one has not irritated my lips. It does contain BHT, which could be a concern for some people. I have found that that's more of a theoretical concern for me, and that hasn't been irritating for me. It also contains a very small amount of vanillin in it. I might feel like I can kind of taste or smell that, but it's certainly not as strong as what I am noticing in most lipsticks that contain vanillin. So it's very mild. So I probably wouldn't buy that one again, but I don't think there's anything wrong with that product, and at least it's a little bit better priced than the Charlotte Tilbury one. So the next product is called Cheekbone, and this is from a Canadian company that is an indigenous founder. And I tend to like to buy from Native American or indigenous companies because I tend to have pretty good success with them. They tend to be in agreement with me about not wanting products to have chemicals in them that are going to cause sensitivities. And so I feel like this one has been consistent with that. This one does have some bright colors in it, but in terms of the rest of the ingredients, I think that it's pretty good. And I think it performs quite well, and so I think this is a high quality product, and because it doesn't have any problematic ingredients in it, I think it works. I think it looks really nice on my lips, and I think that this color is quite pretty, actually. I like the fact that it's red, but it's not too red, and I would definitely be interested in buying some more products from Cheekbone and giving those a try also. And then Jane Iredale has been making pretty good lip pencils for quite a few years now. This one is $20. It comes in 12 shades. It just consists of higher quality oils and waxes, and I think that it's worked really well for me. It feels good on, and it tastes good, and it hasn't caused any irritation. And the shade that I have is really on the neutral side, and I think that that has worked fine. There's a few shades that are a little brighter, so I wouldn't mind having another one of these at some point. And although I am not always that impressed with the performance of Mineral Fusion products, I feel like this particular lip pencil from Mineral Fusion, it's worked fine for me. I think it's been very similar to the Jane Iredale product or the Cheekbone product or the Fitglow product. It's really just high quality oils and waxes, and I think that it looks nice. So this is a product I wouldn't mind picking up. And then the next one is brand new from Kylie. So I guess that what Kylie Cosmetics did was that they removed all of their old products from the market, and then they brought out a whole new line of cleaner products and products that are supposed to also be vegan. So I decided to give one of their lip liners a try because that's really what Kylie Cosmetics was founded on, is the idea of taking a lip liner and using that in conjunction with a lipstick to make your lips look bigger. And because they're using clean ingredients now, supposedly, I thought I would give it a try. Kylie was sold by Kylie Jenner the majority stake to Coty, although apparently she's trying to get it back now. And so I don't know how involved she is in the company at present, but I actually feel like this lip liner has been fine. It's not real expensive. It is available in 9 shades, and I think for the price it has been fine. I don't see any ingredients on here that seem concerning to me. It does have silicones in it, but they're not cyclic silicones. It hasn't been irritating. I don't think the performance is as good as some of these other products that I've tried, but it's also more reasonably priced. So of course this is a celebrity associated brand, and so that always makes a lot of it suspicious. But I think that this has actually been okay, so I wouldn't necessarily advise people not to purchase this one just because of the name on it. Now, last year, Tower 28 came out with a line of 3 pencils that are supposed to be able to be used on either your eyes or on your lips. And so the one that I have here is the more brown color, which is called Draw Me. And I think that it looks okay on my lips, but it mostly includes higher quality type of oils. But the one that I'm concerned about is the canola oil, which is a Roundup Ready crop that I certainly wouldn't eat, especially if it weren't organic, and this one is not stated as being organic. I do feel like this has been a little bit irritating. I don't know if it's because of the canola oil or because of something else, but in general, I am not feeling like I've had that great of success with a lot of the Tower 28 products. A lot of people really do like them, and I feel like for me, they usually are sort of on the borderline of being acceptable. They're not really causing me irritation, but they don't always feel good for me to be using them either, and I think that's the case with these lip pencils. And then the last pencil that I have is from a company called BK Beauty. And this was called the Everlast Lip Liner, and it's $12, but it's a small pencil. I don't think there's that much product in here. And this is a twist-up pencil. It has a little slant tip, which allows you to make a pretty precise line on your lips. So the owner of BK Beauty is named Lisa J, and she has a fairly large YouTube channel and is a makeup artist. And I do really like the brushes from the company. I think that those have performed really, really well for me. And I think that this lip liner is actually really good. So it's not very expensive, and the color on it is very pretty, and it does have some silicone in it, but it hasn't irritated my lips at all, and I think that it's been a very nice product, so I've been kind of impressed with it. Now, one more lip pencil that I haven't tried yet, but that I would like to try is the LYS Speak Love Lip Liner Pencil for $15. So this won the Allure Best of Beauty Award, and I took a look at it then. I think the ingredient list looks fine, and I've heard some good things about LYS, so I'm interested in trying that one. And then finally, a couple of lip products that I actually own, but that I haven't been willing to try because of the ingredient list. The first one is NYX Lip Pencil. This one's $5. I just happened to pick this up when I was experimenting with the NYX line, and unfortunately then I realized that this one contains propylparaben, which is a paraben that I do always avoid and that I've had very bad experiences with when I have tried things. Parabens, I think that the main issue with those is that they have a negative effect on the microbiome of the skin so that they're killing off all other kinds of microbes because they're serving as a preservative, but I think if they're also killing off the good bacteria, that's pretty bad. So I have decided not to use any products with parabens in them because I've had such bad experiences. And then also when I was buying some other Pat McGrath products, I purchased a little kit, and one of the items in the kit was one of their Permagel lip pencils, and those have Teflon in them, and I have had very, very bad experiences when I've tried putting Teflon on my skin. So that is one of the products that the U.S. Senate is actually considering putting regulation based on. And so I think this, of all of the ingredients that we are seeing in the marketplace, probably that may be one of the first ones to go. And I suspect that Pat McGrath will do something about that at some point and take it off the market because it's a very controversial ingredient in cosmetics at the moment. And then the third one is the best-selling lip liner on the Sephora site, so I did take a look at that, and that is from Rare Beauties. It's called the Rare Beauty Kind Words Lip Liner for $15. And I have liked a few of the Rare Beauty products, but this one does contain fragrance, and I've just made a decision not to buy anything with fragrance in it. So in terms of the products that I would buy again myself, just for my personal use if I didn't have this channel, I did really like that Chanel one. I was really impressed with that. That may be the only Chanel product that I have ever tried that I have been able to successfully use and that I liked enough to buy it again. I also like the Lisa Eldridge ones very much, and I wouldn't mind having a whole bunch of those. And I like that Victoria Beckham one, so those are the most expensive products that I think are worth the money. I also like the MAC ones. I think that those really serve a good function if you're looking for a particular color to match a particular lipstick. I think I would be able to find that. And in terms of ones that I feel really good about using because they're clean and the performance is fine, I like that Fitglow one, and I like the Cheekbone one. And I think the BK Beauty one is kind of nice. And of course, I really like the Nars Powermatte and the Haus Labs Le Monster crayons, but those are really crayons rather than lip pencils in my view. But overall, I do think that there's a lot of good choices out there. So if you're not sure that the Jones Road one is going to work for you, I think that there are plenty of other lip pencils on the market that people would be just as happy with. So thank you very much for watching all the way to the end of the video. And thank you also for putting up with the lighting today. It's been going to be storming here for the next several days. So I thought I would just go ahead and film this even though the lighting is not great. If you have had experience with lip pencils, then I would really like to know what those are. So please share that here. And also if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, then I hope you will go ahead and do that. And Coco and I love you very much, so thank you very much for watching. Goodbye. Mwah. Mwah. Thank you, Coco. La